Zoey, The Power to Choose by Michael Maskey. The man who complains about the way the ball bounces is likely the one who dropped it. Lou Holtz. My daughter Zoey was due to be born in the middle of July 2011. I was eagerly anticipating this happy event, full of dreams about how our life together would be. Everything seemed to be under control and going perfectly. I was a very successful vice president of sales for a medical equipment manufacturer, and now, with career sales in hand, the next chapter was about to open up for me. I had studied and immersed myself in personal and professional development, striving for life's success. Much of it I had, or so I thought, and was experiencing. There is a concept called take 100% responsibility for your life. I thought I knew this concept, yet as I found out, life sometimes offers us a test, and the test is merely, do you really understand, or do you only think you understand? For me, it was this moment that the test would present itself. Early on July 14, 2011, Zoey's mother, Rochelle, said, "Something doesn't feel quite right." After what seemed like a very peaceful 40 weeks of pregnancy, we decided to be on the safe side and have an ultrasound done. Within an hour, we were in to see a sonographer who took a quick look and noted that somewhere along the way, the baby's growth had slowed and her heart rate was oscillating between 60 and 120 beats per minute. This had quickly become a high-risk pregnancy. We were instructed to drive directly to St. Joseph's Hospital in downtown Phoenix, as they had renowned NICU facilities. The anticipation of the moment was replaced by the most intense fear and terror I have ever experienced in my heart. Happy and healthy was my only prayer. Hospital specialists confirmed that the baby was in distress. Little Zoey Simone was born by C-section at 1:10 a.m. on July 15, 2011. She was whisked away to the NICU, attended by a dedicated team of nurses, doctors, and other specialists. As I sat with Zoey in the NICU that first night, already I realized how special this little girl was to me. With just one look at her, I had fallen in love. And by the miracle of God, she was healthy. She would need a feeding tube, and she had been born very small, at only 4 pounds 4 ounces. Just a few days, and we would be on our way home. The following day, I received news that would change not only my life, but my entire view on life. 12 hours after Zoey's birth, a physician explained that Zoey had health challenges. He said, "We heard a heart murmur as we listened to her heart after birth. This indicated the need for some testing. We did that while you were asleep." Zoey was born with a heart defect. It is called an AV septal defect. This is a hole in the center of her heart, and it will require open heart surgery before she is 6 months old. After attempting to process the news of this serious heart defect, he said 5 words that would forever change my life. He wanted to be direct, to avoid any confusion on my part with regards to what he was about to say. He looked me directly in the eyes and uttered those words that would forever change the trajectory of my life. "Your daughter has Down syndrome." He continued, "There are certain physical features that corroborate our assessment. I'm very sorry to deliver this news, but you need to be prepared for what's ahead of you." Brusquely, he told me that Zoey would still have a normal life, and then, abruptly, he turned on his heels and left. I guess my initial response was very human. I was stunned. A normal life? Was he kidding? An inner voice was screaming, "I don't want this reality." There was such emptiness in my heart. And there was also fear, anger, confusion, and an overwhelming feeling of disempowerment. After all, I had spent my adult life being in control of my personal and professional destiny. I had also imagined so many things about Zoey's future. Dancing, dramatics, giggling girlfriends, the school honor roll. All these dreams were now shattered. Why isn't she absolutely perfect? How could this happen instead? I sat in my chair and began to cry. Thankfully, Susan, the nurse who was caring for Zoey, heard my conversation with the physician. She pulled up a chair next to me, looked into my eyes, and just sat with me for a while. Finally, she said, "I have a daughter who was born into this world in a similar way. She's now 24 years old." She told me about their life together, including the challenges, the victories, and the meaning that this life created. Opening up her heart to me, she began to cry as well. We sat together for a very long time, open and vulnerable, as I attempted to understand what the event of Zoey's birth meant for me. One of the first phone calls I made was to my friend Todd Campbell, a personal development trainer and coach. I told him Zoey's story and he immediately understood my despair. "You had a story all made up about your future and Zoey's," he said, "and you've just had a nuclear missile shot right through that narrative. I know you're grieving, but let me ask you this. From this moment on, how are you going to show up as a father? How are you going to show up as a man? How is Michael Maskey going to show up?" His questions were an amazing gift. In just a few words, he made me realize that Zoey's future, and mine, depended on how I responded to this event. I had a responsibility to control the outcome. At that moment, I also realized that I had the power to ensure that the outcome would be great. Since that day, I've made it my mission to be the father and the man Zoey needs me to be, caring, strong, and patient, to help her achieve success. Little did I know 8 years ago that focusing on Zoey's outcome would transform both my professional and personal life, all for the better. Today, Zoey is 8 years old. Over the years, doctors warned me about her limitations. She could be like this, but she won't ever be like this. Looking back, I'm able to say, "Great, who cares?" For me, amazing little Zoey is beyond compare. She has taught me that she and I are more alike than we are different, in our likes, our dislikes, and our determination. She loves almost all those things that I fantasized about 8 years ago: dancing, dramatics, sports, friendships, but she masters them a little more slowly. And she never gives up. And we never give up on her or her dreams. As a result of our journey together, one of the best lessons I've learned is the danger of comparing any child to other children. So we compare Zoey today to Zoey yesterday. There's no one else in that success equation. I simply want her to be the best version of herself that she can possibly be. And with the realization that when I take 100% responsibility, I own the response. I don't always choose what happens in my life, but every time I have the choice, the ability to respond. Over 4 years ago, I started my own medical equipment distribution business. The name that I chose for my business is ZM Medical. The ZM stands for Zoey Maskey. It is a daily reminder of the power of showing up, of the power of taking 100% responsibility, and the power that I have in the creation within my life. I'm humbled knowing that it is here that my power lies, that Zoey's power lies, and it is here that your power lies. Michael Maskey is the founder and president of ZM Medical, a medical supply and distribution company that provides healthcare facilities with innovative products that improve the safety of both healthcare staff and patients. He is a nationally known expert in safe patient handling and holds 2 patents on patient handling devices. He is the author of the book Voice of the Nurse and advocates on behalf of nursing and patient safety issues. He is a recognized keynote speaker at healthcare conferences. Michael served in the military for 12 years, including Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003, and is a certified Canfield methodology trainer. He can be reached at michael@zmmedical.com.